I think we can get ourselves underway. So just start off with and welcome you guys properly, and thank you so much for your time for being here today and speaking with us and the community. We've got a nice little community here building in the DAG and DeFi Discord with lots of engaged users and investors that are looking to keep up to date with the most exciting projects in the space. And I believe that you guys fall into that. And obviously, thank you so much for the community for being here, showing your support for Finnovant and to the DAG and DeFi Discord server. And I hope we can continue to bring you up-to-date information regarding projects and keep the community and the projects engaged as much as possible. So thank you very much. We're very lucky and blessed to have the team from BIOFI here today. If those of you don't know, Finnovant is the company that has the ticker for BIOFI. They are a very in-depth project that have a lot of different things going on with their biometric security solutions, their blockchain phone, and their upcoming metaverse. So I am excited to speak to you guys today about everything that you've got going on, as I'm sure the community is too. So thank you very much for being here and welcome to the Discord. I appreciate your time.
Definitely. Thanks for having us. We're glad to get to come and meet the community and answer questions. This is exciting for us. We would do these all day, every day, but we'd never get any work done. So we love doing
100%. And like, I think that's I think to start us off, that's a really positive sign that you guys say that, because when you're building something and you're involved in a business that you feel like you could just talk about all day, that shows that you're doing something that's close to your heart, that you feel like you're doing something that's important, that you could go on about all day long and never get bored. And that shows that the mission that you guys have with what you're doing is, very close to your heart and your mind, and it's something that you're all very passionate about.
There's no lack of passion on this team. Lots of passion, lots of enthusiasm.
Yeah, and I've listened to other AMAs that you guys have done, and I've, most definitely taken away that impression. I've been impressed by the team's vision, dedication, and the amount of effort that you're clearly putting in to, achieve what you're looking to do, as well as the skill set that you will bring to the table. So, congratulations for everything you've done so far. And I, for one, am super excited for everything that you guys have to come. So I think it would be good for us to sort of start off with, just getting a bit of an introduction about, who you guys are individually, what you do on the team, and a little bit about yourselves, if that's okay.
Yeah, I can start that off. Can you hear me?
That'd be great. Brian, I know you always like to lead into that. You want to start?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
We have you, Brian? If not, I'll jump in.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Okay. He may be having an issue with his...
Yeah.
I can hear Brian. I can hear Brian on my end.
Oh, really? I can't hear him. All right, I'll be quiet then. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you so much, by the way. Brian Ma here, and one thing that we like to do, can I call you Psycho?
Yeah, no worries.
So Psycho, one thing that we like to do, at the start of each of these AMAs is we like to give a big shout out to the audience, to the community, to your community, to the Constellation community. We love doing these AMAs like what Chris is talking about. It's just a fantastic opportunity to engage with everybody, to hear the feedback, to listen to the questions. I just did a quick scan of the audience here, and I see a couple of just amazing community members, and I'll mention them throughout the show here. We are just so impressed with their interest, their gratitude for what we do, their involvement, their commitment, their passion. It's just incredible. So we're very honored to be here. We thank you. We thank the community. We're excited to discuss BioFi, to discuss the ecosystem. Just a little bit about it. Biometric Financial, this is all about utility. So this is a utility token. And there's a bunch of secure solutions that are part of the ecosystem. We call them seed products. And we leverage all aspects of the blockchain, DeFi, decentralized services. And our goal, Psycho, is to take care of, manage, help, resolve concerns and issues that people have about safeguarding their personal information. And that really involves keeping their personal data safe from exploitation by fraudsters. That's what this is all about, and providing utility to each person in every country and territory around the world. We do not sell people's data. We do not intrude upon people's privacy, and we never will. Our goal is to safeguard your personal information. This helps the average person with having peace of mind. They can sleep at night, and helping provide that confidence that each person knows the power of access to their individual data belongs to them. They're the owner. They're the individual that owns it, not Google, not Apple, not Microsoft, not Facebook. You own your own data. It's your data. All those guys want to do is take your data and sell it. That's what they're all about. We do not do that. We want to secure your data and give you the freedom that you need to operate and live your lives. And so the beauty about the biometric financial ecosystem is this really represents most business sectors that you're accustomed to working with. Whether you go to a healthcare facility, you have to buy gas for your car, you got to go to a restaurant, you're ordering insurance or buying a bond to put in your investment portfolio, or accessing a website or an app, to play a game in the metaverse. All of this are things that represent business sectors in each country and territory around the world. And so what BIOFI does is it makes it very easy to secure these things. And because it's so global, anybody with a personal device who cares about their data can access these services. So the ecosystem brings all this security, the anonymity, the ability to use your biometric identity to access the blockchain and these decentralized services. This is what helps to greatly improve that personal security. And the beauty about the BIOFI ecosystem is that you have all these great providers. You've got Obius and Disk and Cyberly, Alchemy. You've got Imagine Providence, South Africa, Intel Solutions, and all of these great and big companies that have financial services, financial service products that are in the hands of millions, tens of millions of people that are leveraging the biometrics. This is an amazing thing. And what is so beautiful about all this is that the team is very passionate, and you'll see that from talking to these guys today. And for all of the community members that are here, and I see Miguel in here and DAG, and all these guys, they love innovation, they love crypto, they love the blockchain, IoT, AI, and their thinking process is so aligned with Biometric Financial because they're giving ideas, Psycho, that help to build the next generation of DeFi. They're raising questions and adding incrementally to every bit of innovation that's going on here. So I would just remind everybody, check out the biometricfinancial.org website. We'll talk about that more in the show here. But there's a brand new user interface, and I can't wait to hear Tyler talk about this. There's a brand new user interface, the D app, which is just beautiful, and the team spent a long time putting that together. So I'm looking forward to hear about that here. And also, we're about ready to launch the Doge competitions. In and amongst talking about all the products in the ecosystem, we're about ready to launch the Doge competitions, and Tyler's going to talk about those two things. I believe he will here today. And I'm looking forward to that. So we've got a lot of great seed products. We have incredible providers. We thank you for the opportunity to present here today and to come back and bring providers with us in tow and talk about other things we're working on with the providers. We look forward to the future series on that, and really appreciate everything. And thank you so much.
No problem. Like I love what you guys are doing. I first sort of dived into your project probably about sort of 3 or 4 months ago, and I was instantly very impressed at the the mission of what you guys are looking to achieve, because what you just touched on there, Brian, regarding data and information security is accelerating at an extremely alarming rate. Just how much of our information and data is online, and just how vulnerable that's becoming. And you've almost got these two opposing forces. You have, on the one side, you have the big tech companies that are harvesting all of this data, and then you have the other side, which is like Constellation and Finnovant and what you guys are up to, that is charging upwards to provide the decentralized future, the control over and ownership. And what you guys are doing with biometric security is providing people around the world with the best tools that they can have to protect their own data online. And it's going to be one of the most important things for all of us to do as time goes on, to be able to protect and own our own data. So the use case is huge there, and you guys have some huge partnerships and all the things that you're bringing forward. I don't think there's been a better time in this space for what you guys are doing. So it's providing an extremely beneficial runway for you guys to build what you're doing. So yeah, massively impressed. And I'm sure, like you've mentioned a couple of your community members, and you guys have a very engaged community, because what you're doing and what you're building is extremely interesting and pushing the boundaries of what we're looking at in the future. So congrats to all of you guys on the team for your vision and what you're doing. I've no doubt that you're going to continue to innovate and create in the same way that you already have. So I think what would kind of be good to get a idea. I know we have some members of the community that are very clued up in the audience, but perhaps we have some that aren't so clued up. So maybe just a sort of high level description of the BIOFI ecosystem would be great to hear you guys lay down for us to see exactly all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Sure.
Okay, this is Chris Benedict, co-founder here at Finnovant, and I'll jump in on that one. And Tyler and Brian, of course, add any color commentary that you'd like throughout the description. But the BIOFI ecosystem has been set up with the intention that it's going to be accessible to everyone around the world. Whether they want, when they want to participate, it's acceptable. It doesn't matter if you're in the developed countries or the developing countries. It just doesn't matter. So BIOFI itself will be that means of, the BIOFI utility token will be that means of exchange within the ecosystem. And we are inviting providers to come in to join us and bring their solutions to the BIOFI ecosystem participants. So some of the things we've done Brian mentioned seed products, and that's exactly where we are today. Finnovant is a big part of the BIOFI ecosystem today, but we don't expect it to stay that way. As providers come in and bring their solutions to bear and make things available to participants in the ecosystem, we're going to become an ongoing way. We're going to become smaller and smaller as a part of the ecosystem. What does that mean? We've put a couple products out there that are secured with our biometric authentication solutions. For example, the Cryptic Wallet, which is a cryptocurrency wallet, if you haven't seen it. It's one of the most friendly wallets you can use, so go out and give it a try. Download it. It's available out there on iOS and Android. We have UnisafeBox, which is a blockchain-based password manager and data keeper, right? We have we're in the process of re-engineering our Phenix X1 mobile device, which we just had a great AMA on the other day. Went into a lot of details on that, but that is scheduled to come out fourth quarter of next year. We have our initial version of that device out now, and it's basically an Android base device with 2 operating systems, an extra security chip. It's all about securing your information at rest and as you use the device itself. So those are the kind of things, and there's more, but those are the kind of things that we are seeding the BIOFI ecosystem with. As we have providers come in and join and bring their solutions, like Tel Solutions in Africa, Providence Software Solutions in South Africa. We've got Zariat, who's been our partner for a few years now, who delivers secure SIM cards around the world. We've got existing relationships with folks like Governor Dow, and we're building others into the ecosystem like DISC and Obius and Alchemy, Cyberlead. So there's a lot going on there. So the intent of the ecosystem, again, is to bring services, financial and otherwise, to bear so that people around the world can decide what they want to participate in. And again, protecting data is the most important thing that we're going to do, and protect people's identity. That's key. I think to your point, Sykodelic, is we are in the best spot right now for the merging or the coming together of traditional finance and DeFi. I think we'd all love to believe that DeFi is going to stay DeFi forever, but that's not going to be the case. There's going to be a melding of the two different worlds, and I think we're on the leading edge of that now, and we're going to be way out in front of other people. I'll pause there and allow Tyler and Brian to chime in if they'd like.
I think you kind of nailed it.
Yeah, so essentially, you guys, you're providing the space for all these different providers to come in with their products, and essentially providing so many different services that the people who are involved in the ecosystem can use. Like you were saying, you will eventually become a smaller part of that as more and more providers come into the ecosystem. So what's it like engaging with a new provider in the BIOFI ecosystem? Like how does that work, and what's involved with all of that?
I think it's really interesting, and we have two different environments. When we talk to somebody from the DeFi space, a provider from the DeFi space, they get it. They understand what this type of ecosystem looks like. Traditional finance, TradeFi, it takes a little bit more of us explaining what the benefits are and why we're putting it together. But I think to date, with the folks that we have engaged with, they are super excited to bring their solutions to the ecosystem. So really what it comes down to is TradeFi tends to be a little bit more methodical and a little bit more time consuming to get them into the space, and DeFi tends to be a little bit faster. So the combination between the two is really, really exciting. And what I think is really important is when you have dedicated people in the community that go out and sing our praises or talk about the good things that we're doing, that excites potential providers to come in and join us. So it's a really exciting process. And we're so early on yet that I can't say that any provider coming in is going to take a certain amount of time to come up to speed. Everything's been different so far. We're building those pipelines, and those funnels are filling. It's going to be great to continue to launch people and announce them in the ecosphere here, or in the ecosystem. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's great. And it's like one thing that I was really interested to ask is, because obviously you guys have so many different things going on. There's so many different products, and you have your metaverse, which we'll get into shortly, and your phone and all that kind of stuff. But if there was somebody that wanted, if there was a customer / consumer that is going to come into the ecosystem, how would you describe in a very brief sentence or a couple of sentences what it is they will get from coming into the ecosystem? What benefits are they going to find? And what's it going to do for their lives, kind of thing? If you can give a very short description of that, just to sort of like a TLDR for somebody who doesn't necessarily know too much about you.
What I would
if
say
that's possible.
is, I know we talk a lot, but What I would say is the benefit to a provider is that they will be able to secure their solutions, right? But more than in a better fashion than they have in the past through our biometric solutions, they will have access to an environment and to a community that is focused on security and value and utility. Right, so come in, you get the security, your solutions are better, and you have a ready-made audience looking exactly for those secure solutions.
Great stuff. Makes a lot of sense. Appreciate that. I think there'll be people in the community that like to hear sort of stripped down versions as well to get a a basic grasp of everything, and then they can elaborate with that themselves from everything else we're going to talk about. So, like I said a minute ago, you guys have lots of different things that you're doing. The team, I'm sure, is having to work extremely hard to manage and bring forward these projects and products that you're clearly working very hard on. So I'm really keen and interested to hear a bit more about this metaverse that you guys are putting forward. So, like, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a bit of a rundown about the metaverse and the projects that are underway in I believe it's the Ethos metaverse, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, I can take this one. I'm Tyler, by the way. I'm a Ethos project manager. I've been playing games my whole life, playing in digital worlds my whole life, and it's been fantastic just to be able to work on one, or a custom one, I guess. So a couple of different things we got going on. We'll start on a little bit of a smaller scale. Well, for the first thing we're going to be working on is being able to connect wallets to a Unreal Engine metaverse. By the way, Ethos is a realistic space metaverse built on the Unreal Engine. It's a downloadable game. It's not in a web browser. And we decided to do a downloadable game as opposed to a web browser because the stuff that we can do with a downloadable game with patches and updates is light years ahead of what you can put on a browser, especially building an Unreal where you can do these fantastic landscapes and different worlds and stuff like that. So we decided to go with the downloadable version, and then the next step for that was to create Wallet Connect because as far as I know, I haven't played any kind of blockchain game that's been downloadable that you can connect your wallet to. So we are creating this from scratch. And it's going to be a Wallet Connect system where you can just scan it on your phone. It'll connect. You can confirm it in your wallet, and boom, you're connected to the metaverse. And all your NFTs will show up. Any of the NFTs that are compatible in the Ethos, you'll be able to play as. So that's the step one. Connecting the metaverse to wallets. But a little bit of the projects we're working on within the metaverse is the Doge Run game and the Doges. Those are that's the first game, first playable avatar is our Moon Doges that you'll be able to traverse the galaxies from, fly from planet to planet. We have Doge ships that'll be coming out that are a special giveaway for certain dogs, and then otherwise we'll have to be releasing them on like a pre-sale or just to the classic dog owners, which we'll get into that a little bit in the future. And then so started off, you're playing with dogs. You can start on a planet called Titan, which is Saturn's moon, and the whole metaverse is a realistic layout as far as mirroring our world, and it will have custom worlds added to it. So like I said, Titan is Saturn's moon. You go on it, hear the same sounds that NASA heard when they did their excursion to Titan. The landscape's the same. There's methane lakes. It's a very realistic style game. And so the dogs start there. We also got some smaller projects as far as putting mini games into the metaverse, whether it's an arcade game or, a little tutorial on how to fly your ships, but you'll be flying through, smoke clouds or smoke rings, and a bunch of different little mini things that you can do throughout it so that you can stay busy in the metaverse. Sometimes you want to just kill some time. We see a lot of that with mobile games. People sit down and they want to play for a little bit. So smaller scale stuff. We've got the mini games. We're going to be adding bases that you can add furniture to, so you can kind of furnish your whole area, your landing spot. And then on a little bit of a bigger scale, we've got a couple providers we've been working with to create their 3D models and create worlds for them. And where this kind of leads into is having provider worlds allows users to cross-pollinate. So if we have a provider come in, they want this extravagant world, we'll build it for them. They want NFT models. We can get those in the metaverse. And now their communities can travel over to our community, to our planet, and we can bounce back and forth. So growing those projects out, those pieces of the metaverse are going to be very big for just growing communities in general. Like Chris said, when a new provider comes in, they already have people looking for these solutions. Well, it works on the other way around too. When they come in, they have these people looking for secure solutions, and now they can go and learn more about new projects coming in. So it kind of works both ways. One project brings in people, one project brings in people too. So we got a lot of like fun stuff like that coming into the metaverse, where we can kind of design different ways for people to interact with each other, creating an immersive experience for our holders, for provider holders, for the communities to engage with each other. And we just there's so much potential to it. We've been working with the idea of implementing a learning process too. So it's not just gaming. We'll be able to create learning environments where providers come in and can teach, a class of students or their employees, or put on like lecture halls, AMAs, stuff like that is also going to be provided into the metaverse. We've actually already implemented like a lecture hall, or like a TED Talk style stadium, I guess you would call it, or like big conference room where providers will be able to, kind of rent that out or have one of those in their own world, and then they can hold classes. They can explain their stuff. They can do what we're doing right now inside this virtual world. And so stuff like that's going to be a lot of fun to continue building out. We do have a demo for the metaverse that's currently live on ethosmetaverse.net. You can go, you can download it, you can play as any of the dogs, and then you can also play a little bit with the ships that are coming out. That'll be we'll kind of touch on that when we talk a little bit more about dogs in the future. But the ships are very fun to fly around. They're going to have their own kind of mini game. We're hoping to do some sort of like asteroid game in between planets and stuff. So there's a lot of potential for growth when you can create anything you want.
Yeah, definitely. I think like the metaverse plays are going to be so valuable as time moves on. So like essentially what you guys are looking to do is to build a corresponding metaverse world with all of the providers and the community and the consumers that are involved in the ecosystem to interact, find out about our providers, interact with their community, and just one big place to essentially mix everything that you guys are doing with, elements of fun and games at the same time.
Exactly. And I've been around NFTs for a long time. I've seen the play to earn meta come and go. I see we got a wolf game. One of the users has a wolf game PFP, and I've seen all that stuff happen. And being able to create something that's a little bit more interactive than the typical click to play game is huge. I love that factor. And then we branched off. We started with that, and then branched off into, hey, we can do so much with this metaverse now. We don't. It can be games. It can be education. It can be commerce. You can create you can own a shop in the metaverse. People can come and either see your NFTs. If you're an artist, you can sell your NFTs in a museum. You can do all these different things. There's so much potential for everybody to come in with their own ideas, their own world, their own initiative. That why wouldn't we do it all?
Yeah, 100%. And so, will the BioFi token be a means of exchange throughout the metaverse in some manner or degree? Is that going to be the way that it works? Does the token have an involvement in the metaverse? And if so, give us a bit of information about that.
Yeah, the BioFi will be probably the native token to the metaverse, and that's part of the reason why it works so well on AVAX, is that it's a fast transaction, it's cheap. Anytime you're going to be using a token for multiple transactions, you want something that's as low a fee as we can get right now. And on things like Ethereum, you can't do that. You can't have a place that has a bunch of transactions when you're paying $40 in gas fees. So yeah, BioFi will most likely be the native token, and then you'll be able to do a bunch of different things with that. And if things go smoothly, it's just going to be BioFi everywhere.
Yeah. And that's amazing for, people that are the holders of the token. It's true utility. It's, huge use case for the token, and it will be in, extremely high demand with all of the different users from different providers coming in and integrating and socializing within that metaverse. So I can really see the potential there, which is great. Now, we have obviously we have a few of your Moon Doge NFTs that you guys have kindly given us to give away today. So maybe talk to us a little bit about the Moon Doge, the NFTs, and the information about that, and how that's going to be integrated and used within the metaverse with you guys.
Sure. Okay, so there is 7,777 total dogs. Out of those dogs, 1,111 are origin dogs, and then the remaining 6,666 are classic. So they're broken up, and the first breakdown is into two types. Now, each dog can be one of 7 breeds and one of 50 colors. Colors have no effect on stats, but breeds do. The rarer the breed, the better the stats typically are, as far as they have a higher minimum, so they can only go below a certain amount. And these dogs are going to be the first playable avatar in the ethos. You'll be able to travel planets. You'll be able to quest with them. You'll be able to go to shops, go to different worlds, go to providers, take classes. You can do anything in the metaverse that we implement. Dogs will be able to do. Now, the differences between the origin and the classic dogs is the origin, the 1,111, will be subject to a lifetime of benefits. So as long as you hold this dog, you'll be the first to get new items. You'll be airdrops. Anything that comes out new, we might airdrop to just the origin dog holders. One of the big things is everybody who has an origin dog will be getting a Doge ship. And a Doge ship will be your way to travel from planet to planet. The space is huge, so you're definitely going to need a ship. If anybody downloads the demo and plays around with the ships, you can see how far you can fly. I think it takes like 5 or 6 minutes to fly to the edge of the thing, and these ships are quick. So there'll be different features for just origin dogs. Now, Classic doesn't have those features. However, they are both playable in the metaverse, and they are both playable in the competitions, where you can compete against other doges to earn rewards. And origin doges do not have a racing advantage. We want it to be provably fair from the start, and creating a breed of dog that just had an outright advantage was not something we wanted to do. So there's no racing differential between the two, but one of them will just, as long as you have it, you're just going to keep getting rewards. And ideally, we create an appreciating asset with origin dogs.
Yeah, cool. So how do the competitions work? Like, obviously you're racing. What's on the line? Are you betting against other users? How does that kind of work in terms of how the competitions play out and the racing and that sort of stuff?
Okay, so to explain the racing, we'll first start with the stats on dogs. So each dog that's classic or origin has 3 stats: speed, endurance, and luck. And what the competitions are is you're competing against other dogs for a reward. Now, the reward is the entry fee that you would pay to enter into the competition. So you have 9 dogs. Everybody pays an entry fee to fill into the race, and then once it fires, our system will it's all done through VRF, Chainlink's verifiable randomness function. So we keep everything provably fair. So it takes all the stats, it weighs them into the system, and then through VRF, it'll decide the placements for the dogs from 1 to 9. Now, the top 3 dogs will receive rewards. So if you place in the top 3, you win something back, and you'll be able to play a little bit and figure out what dogs are benefiting better in races, because each race, how the stats are weighed in, isn't going to be the same everywhere you go. If we go to one spot to compete, then the weighting system might benefit, say, the luck stat a little bit more. And then if you were to go to a different place to race, a different planet or location, as we call it, then that location might benefit endurance a little bit more than luck, as far as how it weighs the stats in. So this allows us to take your dog, compete in these races, look at the past races, and deduct, okay, this is a place that speed does well. This is a place that endurance does well, or luck. And what this does, and why we did it, is because you can take this knowledge and then play your dogs appropriately. So if you get these dogs and you're like, oh man, these 2 stats are awful, but this one stat's good, and you find the location that one good stat is the strongest in, that's where you want to compete with your dog. So it allows a balanced playing field, and players with more knowledge and understanding of their dog and of the competitions will be able to benefit a little bit more.
So there's a bit of gamification in there. It's, you know, you're giving users the incentive to actually put some time into figuring out how to play this and how this works, which generates
Exactly.
interest and motivation and, you know, desire to want to play more, to win more. You know, sort of keeping their lips wet to want to come back and keep sort of playing and engaging. So it sounds like to me that what you guys are building within the Ethos Metaverse is a wide variety of things that users can do. They can have access to providers, education, community, socialization, games, the opportunity to win money, amongst other things. So it's basically a one-stop shop that represents everything that you guys are doing, where users can find lots of stimulation in different ways.
We came into this with the idea of creating a world that you never had to tab out of.
Yeah.
Because so many times, you know, you're bouncing from place to place and you're trying to do different things. And if we can encompass everything that, you know, the daily, you know, gamer or crypto holder does, then we can implement all that in the metaverse, and you never have to tab out. You'll be able to do D-app interactions. You'll be able to watch videos, listen to music, you know, go to websites. All this stuff will be in the metaverse. So you won't need to go tab out. You want to order food, you can just open up the web browser.
Yeah. Yeah, that's epic. Awesome. Appreciate you giving us a high-level breakdown there, Tyler. It sounds very exciting with what you guys are doing there. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more information to come out about that. Like with the metaverse, how are you guys looking at that? Do you have much as a sort of clear roadmap looking to get that going? When are people going to be able to mint these NFTs and, you know, things like that?
So right now, the dogs are currently available on both our biometricfinancial.org and on ethosmetaverse.net. You can find the Origin and the Classic dogs. Origin doges are 10 AVAX apiece, and then the Classic dogs are 1 AVAX apiece. Now that we know that there is a price difference there, but the Origin doges, like I said, are attached to a lifetime of reward. So ideally, we can cover that difference in rewards and givebacks to the community for purchasing those Origin dogs.
Yeah, great stuff, man. Appreciate that. So I think we've had a good bit of information there about the metaverse. I'm excited about that, and everything that you guys are building into it sounds like it's going to bring a lot of value to everybody that gets involved. But you briefly said earlier that you guys, was it that you've just released a brand new DApp for the BIOFI token? Is that correct?
Yeah, we've completely overhauled the UI for our reward site. Previously, it was a very kind of cut and dry. We joke and we said it had a very 90s look or 80s look, as Chris would say. So we went in.
It's utility.
Yeah, it was very it was utility. It got the job done and it did it very well. And we had to add a little bit of flash and a little bit of pizzazz to it. So we did a complete overhaul. We made it a little bit of a more user-friendly experience too, as far as, you know, dictating from start to finish where you go to start a rewards contract and from how to close a rewards contract and so on. So it's a much easier, you know, A to B system. And it's also mobile friendly now. We had a couple issues with the mobile on the old site, and this one's completely mobile friendly. We do recommend using the MetaMask app if you're going to do it on mobile. That one is kind of how we optimized it around, as well as using MetaMask for your wallet extension on a website. MetaMask is, you know, say 99% of people use it, and a lot of people who don't use it still have it, you know. Yeah. So it's a very easy system. You know, you go to the website, you connect your wallet, you can log in or register. Registering is a very simple process. You put an email that you would like to link to your wallet, confirm that email, and then you'll get a message to, it's like a wallet verification on MetaMask that'll pop up. And there's no transaction there, nothing's transferred. It's just to verify that your wallet is your wallet. From that point on, you can log in, you can see all our 4 different rewards tiers from gold all the way to emerald. The higher the tier, the higher the rewards, also the higher the lockup period. And then there's utility usages. Each tier has a requirement that if you hit, you get a little bit more BIOFI than if you were to not hit the utility usage. And what utility usage is coming back to the ecosystem, coming to check your contract, coming to close it, coming to see how long you got left. Anytime you log in, you get one of those utility usage points. They are very simple to hit. A lot of them are not an insane amount. So if you come to check your contract throughout the duration of your contract a couple times, you will easily hit that.
Yeah, great stuff. I just wanted to also mention to the guys that are listening, just in case they didn't realize, we do have a Finnovant AMA questions channel open. So if there is any questions you want to ask to the team, make sure to drop them in there, and we'll probably get to them quite soon. So any questions you got, drop them in there, and we'll have a look shortly. So one thing I wanted to sort of put across and ask you guys, because you're taking on new providers and partnerships all the time. Could you give the audience a breakdown of some of your biggest partnerships and what you think is going to sort of bring the most value to the ecosystem, and maybe any of the partnerships that are really far-reaching? Because you mentioned earlier, Chris, about anywhere in the world, any country in the world, your technology and the providers' products can be used. So, like, are there any particular partnerships that you have that you think would be important to highlight to community members or people who are just learning about your ecosystem?
Sure. The ones I point out right now are the ones that have big existing customer bases. So when we talk about Tel Solutions Africa, or we talk about Providence Software Solutions in South Africa, both of them have access to millions of customers. So those are the big ones right now. Those are the big fish, if you will, that are really going to help us build the ecosystem, and are going to bring a lot of focus to it, and also bring a lot of people into it. So those are the big ones right now. Now we have a bunch of others that who knows where they'll be in the future. I expect them to be really big. You look at CyberLead, right? And we are working with them on their anti-cheat for gaming competitions. That's going to be huge in that space. We have DISC, who's Drone Industries Corporation. They are doing all types of autonomous drones and devices. That's going to be huge. That's where technology is moving to support all that.
Yeah.
So I would say the two that I mentioned first out of Africa and South Africa are the immediate, really large ones that people should be thrilled to have part of the ecosystem. But any of these new ones can explode at any time. And we have a really good relationship with Constellation, and you'll notice most of the ones I mentioned are projects that are coming out of the Constellation ecosystem. And I think any of these can explode and be giant in the near term. So it's just a matter of spending time with them and inviting them in to understand what the ecosystem is about. I think I heard Brian jumping in there.
Yeah, I love that because.
Oh no,
sorry, go ahead, Brian.
On that whole topic, this is such an incredible question, because Biometric Financial was built around the provider relationship, and the thing that we don't talk about a lot, but that comes out once in a while, is that Biometric Financial can run on its own. It's such a wonderful utility. It can run on its own. It has all the hooks in place in it, and much of it does, by the way. The user interface that Tyler just talked about is designed around supporting providers to self-register and bring themselves into the ecosystem. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about that, but we'll catch it in another AMA. It's designed in a way that they can come in, download the API for the biometrics, and go off and integrate that and implement it on their own quite quickly and quite accurately. And then with a purchase of some BioFi and an operation of selecting one of the rewards, then they are actually loaded up. Their likeness, their image can be added to a flip box on the page, right? Everybody knows this. You go to biometricfinancial.org, you can slide the page down, And in there, you'll see all of the providers. More are being added all the time. And that list continues to grow and cover all of the industry segments. The beauty of that is that each provider brings a lot of innovation. They bring a lot of incredible products. And not only do the providers work directly with the community and their own communities, they work with each other. There are many providers that are now signing deals between each other to combine their technologies and help each other in ways that would have never existed without Biometric Financial. So it's a great way for the community to grow and build. It's a great way for the providers to get their innovations out there, and provides a platform that is multi-decade in length. Just a reminder to the community, Biometric Financial has a 10 years emission. We have just literally launched just under 6 months ago. And this thing has a long ways to go. And you can see these huge deals that are in here where these providers are coming in and providing tens of millions and soon hundreds of millions of community members that will be using all of the utility within the ecosystem, including the metaverse, what Tyler was talking about with the training. So it's a fantastic way for people to get involved and for providers to interact with the community and with each other. And we look forward to building that out and having it self-sustain itself into the future. It's a very exciting thing to be involved in.
Yeah, and I think it's clear that the BIOFI token is going to have some, and it already does have some incredible utility, and what it's going to be able to be used for within everything that you guys are putting together. I mean, obviously not financial advice here at all, but from an investor standpoint, it's an exciting opportunity, because at the end of the day, when you have when you're holding a token, the most important thing that you need to understand is the utility it provides, and then in turn the value that utility will be able to capture. And I think it's clear from speaking to you guys today that you're building out some incredible utility within your ecosystem for Biometric Financial that is an extremely attractive option for investors to get involved. And as you just said there, Brian, you've only been going for 6 months, and you already have some massively, hugely incredible partnerships in terms of the amount of people that brings to the ecosystem and the value that it's providing those people already at this early stage. I'm sure is a sign of many positive things that is going to come for your project. So congrats to you and your team for building out something so diverse and well thought out at this stage, and I'm excited to see how it continues to develop along the way, as I'm sure
the
community
too.
are as well. So I think if you guys
Oh no,
yeah, sorry Brian,
I just wanted
go
to
ahead
say,
if you wanted to add anything.
me
there.
too, because when I see Miguel and Dagon, all these guys that are so deep in the middle of this with their wonderful ideas and innovations, it's so exciting to interact with each and every one of you, and the whole community in its response and its embrace of everything going on. It's just fantastic, and it's so fun to create this utility. We love doing this. It's so fun being involved with such a fantastic community.
Yeah, and it's pushing. It's like what we were talking about right at the beginning of the AMA, and when Chris said, we could talk about this all day, but we'd never get any work done. It's that when you're building something that's pushing the sort of frontiers of what's been possible before, and you're going from 0 to 1, when you're creating new products and utilities and bringing together a decentralized ecosystem in a way that hasn't been done before, and building multiple different products and avenues for people to get involved and benefit from the ecosystem, it's an extremely exciting thing, and it attracts other people that share the same passions. And that's one of the main things I love about the crypto community in general is it's created a new avenue for companies to grow what they're doing. You know, you focus on your products, you focus on marketing your products, and you also now in crypto have another area where you focus on your community, and people from the community come in and shine through, and in, you know, many cases become part of teams. And like what you were just saying there, Brian, about Miguel and Dagon is, you know, they've also become a great part of the community within the DAG and DeFi Discord. And it's, you know, you attract people that share the same values, and that creates a brilliant environment within a company that just inspires more and more innovation.
And we have, and I picked 2 men, by the way. We have Crazy Susie, we have Viv, we have all kinds of women too. It's just I picked the 2 men there to point out.
Yeah, no problem. And look, I think at this stage, you guys have given us quite a bit of information and a bit of your time. So maybe if you're happy with it, we can pop over to some community questions and see what they're looking to find out, if that's all good. Awesome. So obviously, everybody involved in the Constellation community is well aware that we've had the release of Mainnet 2.0 and the Genesis block, and things are now beginning to move forward. You know, obviously you guys are on AVAX at the moment, but are you able to share, like, basically the first question is talking about the state channel, and I was going to ask this anyway. So like, is there any information in terms of how you guys are looking in terms of building out your state channel, how that looks, and you know, eventually becoming a layer zero?
Absolutely, I'll take that question. We have a roadmap item to get this done. As you guys know, we went through the accelerator, the flight program, version 1. We actually attended version 2 as well. So for those of you that track this closely, we were there on the second time through, you know, with Tim O'Brien, Benjamin Diggles, helping and providing support in the background for the community, going through flight program version 2. We also announced yesterday, so this is like a PSA, right? Public service announcement. In full transparency, we announced yesterday that we have transferred 1%, or in the process of transferring 1% of our supply, which is 100 million tokens, over to Constellation as part of attendance in the flight program. So that's in our tokenomics. You will see that there as an advisor item, and those are going over, and we've been given assurances that those will be held for the long term, which we would expect from a great partner like Constellation. So I would just highlight that. You guys will see that in the channel, and we really appreciate. In fact, when we did the first Hypergraph Hour and had a video segment, I think you'll see it on our YouTube channel. I believe we have that on our YouTube channel. The date that we did that, we had so many people that hit our website that it caused it to crash. There was such a massive group of people that hit the website to learn about BioFi. This was when we were actually in the first flight program. And so we made a commitment back then to Diggles, to Tim O'Brien, and the entire Constellation community, Jorgensen, to implement BioFi in the Constellation network, to have a state channel. And in fact, if you take a close look at the Phenix X1, you'll see that it is designed to operate as a node, an edge device on the Constellation network. So it's being designed from the ground up to do that. In terms of its processing, its memory, this is the real deal.
I love that.
So that device you will be able to take everywhere, and this is why Zarya, by the way, is such an important provider in the ecosystem. Stefan may be on the call here. Stefan comes from Zarya, in fact. And you'll hear him talking about this in the AMAs, and his background in IoT and mobile, which is very important for us So when we talk about Africa, the continent of Africa, the Middle East, India, these are prime grounds for launching tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, of Phenix X1 devices. So I say this all the time, Psycho. We will probably be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, data provider within Constellation. And I say that yeah, and I smile when I
Yeah, I
say
can
it.
see
We
how
we are
that's going to
so
happen.
excited to be in the network because all that data that's going to be going through there, we want to take advantage of those low costs. We want to take advantage of the scalability. We want to have all of the transaction data flowing through there. So it's on our roadmap. We're excited to be a part of it. We're looking forward to Alchemy. We believe Alchemy will launch first as one of the ecosystem partners in there. And we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to having the state channel and getting that going. We have a person that we're assigning to actually complete the technology work on this, and it'll be included in the cryptic wallet. You'll be able to access your DAG, your BIOFI from layer 0 right in the cryptic wallet. So this is a fantastic adventure. You know, we've been on from the beginning with Constellation, going through the flight program. We really appreciate everything they've done, and we thank you for this community as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. We appreciate you guys being here. So essentially, you guys, the development and the deployment for the state channel is getting underway. Things are starting to sort of move forward, and I imagine as we sort of close out this year that there's going to be a bit more clarity on projects launching. I agree. I think Alchemy is going to be first. It seems as if they've been building and working towards that for quite a long time. So it's going to be exciting for everybody in the community to see that happen, to see what happens in real time, for the other projects that have been involved to watch how the first launch goes. I, for one, being involved in the Constellation community and doing the amount of research that I've done, I can't wait to see these state channels get deployed. I can't wait to see the power that they have and to see what happens in the wider crypto community when this really begins to roll out, because I think it's going to send shockwaves through the crypto space when we really see these state channels working as they've been built
I
to
totally
do so.
agree, and I think they're well positioned. I think they've done a fantastic job. And I understand the process, because we've had to roll out. You guys know all this, and thank you for all your support. You guys know this in the midst of all the wonderful work that we have. We love doing this work, and the ones of you that are just deep in the middle of this with us, you know what it takes to do these things, and I have nothing but appreciation for the hard work that they've done over the course of 6 years now to get this to where it is. So we're very proud of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's no easy feat doing what they've done. They're truly testing the boundaries of what's possible at the moment in this space, and the technology that they've developed is utterly world altering, and that is going to take a lot of time to do. So, but I'm grateful that we're where we are with this right now, and things are really beginning to start to happen. So cool. So we'll jump to another question that we have here. So with regards to the Phenix X1, now I know you guys just did an AMA on this with DeFi Runner about the phone, but I would love at another point, maybe when things have progressed a little bit further in a couple of months' time, we could have a chat on here with you guys about the phone and really delve into new developments and everything that's going on with that. But for now, we'll just go to the questions we've had from the community, and it's concerning availability. Are you planning to have the phone available for sale worldwide? Yeah. Yeah, and as Brian just said, you guys are building that phone up with the capabilities of running and essentially being a node on the hypergraph, which will then provide so much data from all around the world. So it's in your interest to get that out to as many people as possible. Awesome. So another question we have here is asking how. So if you could maybe give us some information. The question says, how can regular people earn in your metaverse? So what are going to be the methods for earning? Is that just going to be playing the Doge game and earning winnings through your performance, or is there going to be anything else that there's going to be an earning element
Tyler,
within the metaverse as well?
Well,
Tyler,
outside of the
yeah, I'll just take the first 60 seconds of this.
You want to take it, Brian?
And then turn it over to Tyler. They love me talking about this, by the way, Psycho. So the fact is that for those of you that have embarked in the metaverse now, and you can do it quite easily by downloading going to the website app.biofitoken.io and surfing over to the D app or over to the Ethos Metaverse site. You can download the actual executable, and for free, right now for free, you can pick a Doge, and essentially that's your avatar, and go in there and kind of hang out and bop around and see what's there. It's being built out as we speak. Things are being added to that. The team by the way, they built a special experience for Providence at a conference. If you look back through the Telegram channel there, you'll see the pictures from the conference in Durban, South Africa. It's just a wonderful conference. And Providence actually took the Ethos Metaverse and experience and provided it to, this was a CEO conference, provided it to thousands of CEOs. It's a fantastic event and got a lot of visibility into BioFi and for Providence, by the way. But think about that metaverse. You could actually, you've got Disk in there building a world. You have Cyberlead in there building a world. And they have avatars. They'll have the drones in there. You're going to have the Cyberlead avatar. And imagine with a drone, those drones have to fly around. And guess what? They use a battery. So somebody is going to own a charging station and charge to have and actually have a fee to be able to charge up the drones, to charge up those batteries. The ships that are being designed for the Doges have to use fuel. Somebody's going to own a gas station and charge up the ships. And it goes on and on. There will be a bar someplace. There's going to be a stadium to have concerts. Fan Token can sell tickets in there to the concerts. It's such a great and wonderful ecosystem. There's multiple levels of revenue in here for many people that want to come in and leverage the ecosystem and be a part of this, either as an owner of a gas station or a facility, a building that other people leverage, or to be part of it and engage in some of those competitions. And sorry, Tyler, I took a little bit of your thunder there.
No, that's fine. That's kind of what I was gonna harp on too, is the fact that players will be able to own these buildings, businesses, establishments, whatever you want to call them, that players will either come to for something specifically, like gas, like you were saying, or if you perhaps owned a museum, you could rent the museum out to show for artists to showcase their work. You could do, you could have an arcade. If the games cost whatever they cost, you take a portion of that, but it goes back into, adding more games to the arcade and stuff like that. So there'll be places or things that you can own that you can earn revenue from. If you get a billboard in one of the more trafficked cities or planets or whatever, and you can have people pay for advertisement. So there's a ton of different ways. The same way we see in our modern world how people can earn money from different things will kind of transfer over to the metaverse.
Sure. So how would that work in the sense of, let's say I wanted to own a gas station to charge people for gas. Would I have to pay X amount to you guys to get that plot and set that up? And how would that work?
So we would probably end up selling a certain amount of each style of building.
Yeah.
And then the dynamics of, gas being delivered, gas being sold, being used, that stuff's it's still in a work in progress because the dynamics to it are extravagant. How do you,
Yeah.
how do you break that down into a simple
Yeah.
conversation? It's very hard. If from the
Yeah.
gas station to the point of using gas in the ships, what do you do if you run out
Yeah.
of gas in space? So there's a lot of different variables that we need to iron out and make as smooth as possible to be able to incorporate, that there's no, people aren't getting shafted and stuck in space. We don't ever want people to run out of gas in their ship and just be in nebulos, So we got to format something for that, whether it's a tow truck,
Yeah.
just a gas station on the tow truck. So there's a bunch of different layers to it that are going to come out. But at the very base level, you'll be able to own this, whether you purchase gas from us or from another player that they put into your gas station, and then other players come, they stop on their way to a different planet, fuel up and go. So there's a couple different ways we could take it, and I've seen how gas stations have worked in previous games, and it doesn't do well for the token. And so we don't want to flood the system by just giving tokens to people who own gas stations. We don't want to flood anything. We want it to be kind of back and forth and almost like regenerative in the sense that somebody's not just getting it just because they own it. It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more dynamic than that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like you've said, it's a very complex and in-depth process. And maybe we could, as you continue to build down the line, maybe it would be great if we could have an AMA specifically based around some of those mechanics. So give you guys an opportunity to really put forward to the community and to the users the opportunities that you're going to be creating for people in your metaverse. I think could be quite beneficial when you guys have a bit more sort of concrete information on how that's all going to work.
Yeah, and that's more specifically oriented around the gas station feature. Things that are a little bit simpler, like having a museum and renting art space out, billboard, renting advertisement, arcades, games, all that stuff's a lot simpler to put together because it's a very cut and dry. If you own a museum and and an artist comes and says, "Hey, I want this weekend," then that's just like a fee. That's a lot simpler than what if he runs out of paintings, like something like that. Like it's simpler to do that. The gas station dynamics difficult, but a lot of the other stuff is a lot simpler process, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to see. One, because you can take these things like advertisements, whether it's billboards, whether it's street signs, whether it's whatever it is, and these other NFT projects can come in and say, "Hey, we want a billboard here." We've seen hundreds of NFT projects put billboards up in Times Square. That's like a huge thing that you see. People put
they love it.
Coinbase did it. Like you see Deadheads, you see Sneaky Vampire Syndicate, all these big things that do that, and you'll be able to do it in a game, and that'll function out into like traffic. What kind of foot traffic sees this billboard? That's what the advertisement fee would be, based on the popularity of the area and stuff like that. So there is still a dynamic aspect to it, but it's a lot more straightforward than the gas station breakdown.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a lot of fun for you guys to try and sit down and work through the mechanics of that. So I'm interested to see how that develops.
Yeah, and like I said, if you want, the gas station will probably be one of the more beneficial ones for sure, because everybody's going to be flying ships around, going from place to place. But if you just want like a simple interaction, then there's going to be stuff for the regular user who doesn't want to go through the process of that. There's going to be something for every caliber of player to be able to earn.
That's great. Great to know. I'm excited for that part of the metaverse. I'm eager to hear more information as you guys slowly build towards that. So we have another question here, the last question, and then I think we can look to sort of wrap up the call. I appreciate all of your guys' time today. So the question's from Miguel, and he's asked, will you guys be having any sort of community referral program where community members could help connect businesses to you guys and receive some sort of incentivized reward? And in addition to that, could this be applied to the Phenix X1 when that rolls out as well? Yeah, I think especially around the phone as well, because that's like smartphones are such a staple part of our day-to-day lives that bringing out the new era of phones that has, blockchain capabilities, wallet functionalities, node functionalities, etc., is going to be something very exciting and new. And I think if you could incorporate, because at the end of the day, they always say word of mouth is the best form of marketing. So if you can add a referral structure onto that to help push that along, then I'm sure combining it with a fantastic product could be a very, very powerful marketing tool. Yeah, awesome, guys. So look, I think that's all of the questions there, and we've really gone through some great detail today. So, and I appreciate we've had you on for an hour and 15 minutes, which is your valuable time. So thank you so much for that. And I just want to sort of put forward if there's anything else before we sort of close off the AMA today. If there's anything else you wanted to finish with or say at this point.
Yeah, and I would just add,
It's been
Miguel,
great
that
having
was
you guys on.
fantastic. I would just add,
Go ahead,
we
Brian.
really, really appreciate everybody, and we thank you so much. We thank you for this opportunity, and of course, every chance to get out and talk about this. We love doing this. We love talking to you guys and hearing from you and learning from you, and look forward to cranking this out for years to come, decades to come. It's multi-generational. We have so much fun with this, and thank you guys so much.
No worries. I really appreciate you guys coming on. From my perspective, having you guys here in the DAG and DeFi Discord server is brilliant. It's been great to see the community build up within the server, and I'd love to keep in contact with you guys and assist where I can in terms of giving a stage to reach the community and stay close by as you guys continue to build and really sort of see where this goes. I think from my point of view, you guys have put together, a fantastic utility, an amazing product that's going to benefit so many lives all around the world and offer a lot of functionality and value to people as things continue to build forward. So keep up the amazing work, team, and hopefully we can speak again soon.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm gonna throw a couple links in the Finnovant channel. I tried to throw them in the AMA question channel, but it wasn't allowing me to do it. But I'm gonna throw some links to the Ethos Metaverse site, the dogs, and a little bit more information and background to the Metaverse too, if anybody wants to deep dive it a little bit longer.
No worries. And like, if you want to DM them to me as well, Tyler, when we're going to upload this AMA to our YouTube channel, I'll include them in the YouTube channel description, and I'll also link them when I make an announcement about uploading your video as well. So if you want to fire them over to me, mate, I'll get that sorted.
Awesome, perfect.
Awesome. Listen, thanks so much then, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
And
Thanks,
keep up the
guys.
solid work, and we'll be in contact again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
No worries, guys. Have a great day.
You too.
Awesome. I just want to finish off, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to another AMA. I really appreciate you guys showing up and showing support to the community. I know the crypto space has been tough right now, but I think we're sort of getting closer to pushing past the bear market and really seeing what this constellation community and all the projects building on DAG are going to be able to do. And I'm very excited for Alchemy State Channel to launch. And I don't know if any of you guys saw, but we had a mega pump earlier, a couple of hours ago, for Alchemy stuff. Will it be a sign of what's to come? I hope so. But in terms of the giveaway for this, we've taken a screenshot of you guys that are here. And yeah, once we've uploaded the AMA, we will release the winners of the giveaway, which is of the 3 Doge. So yeah, really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll have some more announcements with some exciting AMAs coming up. And if you ever need anything from me, feel free to DM me or at me in the main chat. Always happy to help and answer any questions that you have, or just sort of connect with you guys. So enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, guys, and I will talk to you soon. All the best. Over and out from me. Bye bye.